Would you like to meet Rajinikanth or Kamal Haasan in a public park in Chennai? Do you even think it's possible? Today, it's not just the walkers or joggers that populate the Thiruvanmiyur MRTS public park. 50 photographs from the golden age of Tamil cinema have now taken over this space. From the unseen archive of the yesteryear still photographer T Lakshmikanthan, these photographs from movies like Sigappu Rojakal, Billa and 16 Vayadinile take Chennai down a memory lane.
So Lakshmikanthan began as an assistant photographer in the late 60s, and it was in 1970 with the movie Sangamam, that was a Gemini Ganesan movie, that he got his first break as an independent stills photographer or a set photographer. But his real big break actually was in 1973 when he shot this movie Gauravam, and there was this very popular shot of Shivaji dressed as King George. So he's got a full regal red outfit on, a crown, he's holding a golden orb in his hand, and that was the cutout in front of Shanti Theatre in Mount Road. And that was a very big deal. It was a very significant image, and it was kind of the emperor of acting of sorts that Shivaji was portrayed as in that. And that was an image that Lakshmikanthan shot, and it kind of set the stage for him to be a fairly big name in the field of, it was already a small field of still photographers. But subsequently a partnership he established with somebody like Bharati Raja, where he shot from the first movie, 16 Vayadinile, on for the first 8 or 9 movies that Bharati Raja shot till Tick Tick Tick. They were all shot by Lakshmikanthan on set. His first movie, like I said, came out in 1970, and the last movie that he worked on was actually Apatha with Urvashi, that came out in 2023. This was a time in cinema when technicians and artists, those behind the camera and in front of the camera, were on a fairly even keel. The relationships we're talking about were very unlike what it is today. So he speaks of how Kamal Haasan used to tease him on sets or pull pranks on him, and this was a relationship that lasted multiple decades over various movie shoots. Or he talks about how him and Rajinikanth travelled across Western Europe when they had gone for a shoot to London. The producer, Mr. Balaji, basically handed Mr. Rajinikanth over to Lakshmikanthan and said, "Okay, Lakshmi, you're a Pathago." And they went off to Paris, to Brussels, to Amsterdam before they came back to London and then flew back to Chennai. So I think these are instances that you don't really think are possible in today's age of cinema. Each of these images are in clusters for a deliberate reason. So there's an underlying theme going along with the title of the exhibit as well. So I've kind of paired all of them with a specific Tirukural. A much larger image further down there of Sapani from 16 Vayadinile, and the Kural there talks about how even the meek shall one day seize their opportunities to vanquish their enemies. If you watch the movie, this adds an additional layer of understanding, because throughout the movie he is the village simpleton, but by the end of the movie he grabs a huge rock and breaks Rajinikanth, who plays Paratai in the movie, on the head and kills him. And that is the meek who has seized his opportunity to vanquish his enemy.
This show with cinema, I think, is something we've always aspired to do, but it's not something it's easy. You don't have access to these archives easily. So when we were approached several months ago by Mr. Suresh Balaji, who's a producer of Tamil cinema, he approached me saying there is this archive of a photographer called Lakshmikanthan. Unfortunately, his health is dwindling, but it would be the right moment to look at his archive and try to do something. I think that's really exciting. And so I know that this the city of Chennai, and I think Tamil Nadu in general, is really inspired by cinema, and cinema is so much part of the imagination by the daily life of the city and the heartbeat. So I think that was the answer was yes. This project, I hope, will help us as the Biennale create new audience for the Chennai Photo Biennale. This is the unseen archive of Lakshmikanthan that we've posed here. We hope that with this people will understand that photography has many avatars. This is one form, which is the still photographer from a set of Tamil cinema.